Homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong. Homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels represented on the altar. And homage to the main deity of the Homa today, Dorje Patmo. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the rep to Taipei rep to Sweden, Dharma Sister Judy, and accountant to Tubira Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband Larry, producers for the Geni Gensang Shinten, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, and the members of the Sunny Line Dance Group, Dr. Ryan Zhong, Good afternoon, everybody. How do you do?
Thank you for coming.
Next Sunday, September 25th at 3 p.m. there would be Kalachakra Homa ceremony. It's been a long time since we had Kalachakra ceremony. So Kalachakra is highly revered by all four schools of Tibetan Buddhism. And the one who transmits Kalachakra are Dalai Lama, Panchen Lama, and the Gongtang Chang Rinpoche, and Kalu Rinpoche, and a few other great Rinpoches. It's only very few people would conduct Kalachakra ceremonies other than the above Rinpoches. And of the Chinese-speaking people, I'm not aware of any other person conducting Kalachakra ceremonies. I only know of Grandmaster. Today, we perform Dorje Patmo Homa. And this deity is the primary deity for the inner fire practice. If you practice inner fire, then you need to practice this deity. And the inner fire, the primary inner fire is 4 finger width below the navel. That's the navel. And then 4-finger width below that, there would be the life generation palace, triangular palace, triangular blue triangle. According to Tantrayana, our body temperatures, you don't know where it comes from. So human bodies always have temperatures. The standard is 37 degrees Celsius, 36 to 37 degrees. And you maintain this temperature. And where does the temperature come from? It's from that position, 4-finger width below the navel. And in our visualization, this life generation palace is a triangle or vertical, like this, tip to tip, and at the center would be the inner fire, 1 point. And the inner fire transforms to become Dorje Patmo, and Dorje Patmo transforms to become inner fire. That's the key point in the practice and visualization. So the inner fire is like this. One horizontal line. It's just a little bit of fire, like this, like this. That's the shape. At the tip of the 2 triangles, and the inner fire transforms to become Dorje Patmo, and Dorje Patmo becomes inner fire. If you increase the brightness of the inner fire, the redness and the heat, the temperature of the inner fire, then the inner fire can go up and down. So you can pull it up or make it ascend or descend. You can ascend. It can ascend to the body chakra area and melts the body chakra until the water would drip, and then the blending of the fire and water, and in that you generate a meditation, and that would be called the inner fire meditation. And the mudra is the typical mudra for all Dakinis. I recited the Dakinis, including the Prajna Buddha Mother, which is the head, and below her Sentongma, that's the lion-faced Dakini, Singamukha. Asongma, that's Ekajati, and Dorje Patmo, which is Vajravarahi, Vajrayukini, and 100,000, or not only 100,000, but 1 million Dakinis. And the 4 guardian Dakinis, and the 8 Dakinis in the 8 directions, and the Dakinis of the 20 heavens, all have the same mudra, this mudra, including Golden Mother, the Earth Goddess, have the same mudra, the same mudra. The 6th syllable of Dorje Patmo is Bang. And visualize the 6th syllable with the circle and the irregular square. That's called pang. And pang can transform to become a lotus or to become the yidam. That's the mantra. And today's mantra chanting failed because you need the sound and the accompaniment and very powerful. You can use many different ways to have this mantra accompanied with all kinds of music. Can you play the mantra chanting again? So it's better when you play it louder, and earlier there was not loud enough and no musical accompaniment. There was some problem with the instrument. So today you had problem with the player. Well, in that case, I could detect the problem with the machine, I suppose. Her mantra, her image, and she's holding the kachanka of Padmasambhava with 3 skeletons to include the greed, anger, and ignorance. The kachanka was held in her hand. And Doje Patmo typically is completely nude, and she's red. And she's holding a kapala, skull cup. Typical Doje Dakini would hold a kapala in one hand and a kartika or curved knife in her other hand. And then she's clutching on a kachanka and she's red. Her whole body is red and not wearing anything. And she's wearing some beautiful ornaments. There are 2 different forms of dakinis. One is a very smiling and very attractive, and the other one is this wrathful. So if the image of a dakini is both wrathful and beautiful and attractive, so it's very difficult. But dakinis look like that. It's very difficult to visualize. So like ladies, when she's happy, then she's kind, but when she's angry, she would be really ferocious, very fierce. So the fierceness of women sometimes are worse than men. So the fierceness of man is on the outside, but for the woman is inside, is the fire of anger. So Doje Patmo is the fire of anger. But she helps a lot of spiritual cultivators. So most of spiritual cultivators would get help from her, like Nairatma, Doje Patmo, the Kodeswara, or the consort of Mahaswara, they're all Dakinis. Dakinis are not always consorts, and they are in the sky or in heavens, but they also exist in the human world. And the Dakinis on earth often have Dakinis around them, protecting them. So the physical or the earthly Dakinis are often protected by Dakinis, and not all Dakinis are consorts. So that's my simple introduction. In the inner fire meditation practice, typically in this triangle, and then the Dorje Patmo standing at the center. But the pith instruction that Grandmaster received is 3D, like a pyramid, two of them, and the tip touching each other, and then the inner fire at the center transforming to become Dorje Patmo, and then ascending. That's what the Guru said, and it would be faster to practice the inner fire this way. Typically, they use the blue triangle and Dorje Patmos at the center of the triangle, and then she becomes the half of the Ah character, and that's the fire generated, half of the Ah syllable, and it can become Dorje Patmo. All becomes the fire, the inner fire. So today we will continue to talk about Lamdre, continuing from last night. Talking about the 4 ears transmission, which is one-to-one oral transmission, refers to the one receiving the Dharma transmission through continual lineage, never be diverted from the teachings of all the lineage gurus, one guru to another. In Tantrayana, that's called the ear oral transmission. So for a lot of the pith instructions, it would only be transmitted one-to-one, so the guru to the disciple. So this is for the very important pith instruction. So only 4 ears. So one person only has 2 ears. So 4-ear transmission is one-to-one transmission. But it's the modern day is different. So the people here listening, and then over the webcast there would be thousands of them. So one mouth, 2 ears, the mouth would speak to many uncountable ears. So this is not one-to-one oral transmission. But the meaning of this one-to-one transmission is one lineage guru to another lineage guru, like from Naropa to transmit the Dharma to Marpa. There would be 4-ear transmission. So Naropa transmitted and Marpa received. That's called 4-ear transmission. And Marpa gave the Dharma talk to Milarepa, and there were only 4 ears listening. So that's called the 4-ear transmission. From Milarepa to Kambopa, that's also 4-year transmission. And from Gampopa to Tusum Khenpa, who was the first Karmapa, Tusum Champa. That's also 4-year transmission. And from the first Karmapa all the way to the 16 Karmapa. And from the 16 Karmapa transmitted to Grandmaster Lu. They are all called 4-year transmission, 1 to 1. So between you and Marpa, between you and Naropa are all linked together. So Naropa from India, Marpa from Tibet, and then afterwards they're all Tibetans. And from the 16 Karmapa transmitted to Grandmaster, which was transmitted to a Han Chinese, and that was called the 4-year transmission. So this was set up through continual lineage. So it's impossible for you to be apart or divert from Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Gampopa, and Tusum Champa, or to the 16 Karmapa, or vice versa, from the 16 to the 1st to Gampopa, Milarepa, Marpa, Naropa, and Niguma. So the lineage will never break. And Grandmaster's lineage in the Kagyupa is from Kanchu, Living Buddha, to Tupten Nima, to Tupten Tali, to Tupten Taji, and to Tupten Chimo. And Grandmaster is Tupten Chimo. So this link, this lineage cannot be broken, and it is not broken. So you're linked to the patriarch of the Gelugpa, the yellow sect, to the Kanchu Living Buddha. So you cannot abandon it, and you cannot be independent from it, or separate, go separate way. So the empowerment is like a river. It's never exhausted. So the river is not broken. The river is always from the source, from the spring to the ocean. It's never exhausted. So the river of empowerment is never exhausted. When you practice the Dharma of the lineage gurus would give you empowerments from the sky. Do you know? Do you feel it? When your yidam come and give you empowerment, as long as whenever you practice the Dharma, you would receive the empowerment. So empowerment is not like today, Doje Pamu's empowerment. You pass by the empowerment banner and you receive empowerment. But also when you get home and you perform the practice, you would receive the empowerment. The empowerment never stops. It's unceasing. Let me tell you a simple thing. Recently, there are many people come and ask me, do I have lineage? Do I have true Buddha lineage? There are many people ask Grandmaster, do I have true Buddha lineage? Why do you ask me? Touch your own nose. Do you practice Grandmaster's Dharma? Then the Dharma flow would descend and enter into you, and you would know that you have not lost the lineage, that you have the lineage. First, it's a very simple concept. It's mentioned here. So it's continual and it's linked, so you cannot leave or you cannot become independent. So Grandmaster transmits Dharma and you learn the Dharma, but do you respect the lineage root Guru? If you respect the lineage root Guru, then of course you have the lineage. But if you are disrespectful toward the lineage root Guru, how can you have the lineage? Because I was the one who gave you the Dharma teaching, and you receive the Dharma teaching and you respect me, and Grandmaster would give you the root blessing, and the Yidam absorb you, and the protector accompany you, then of course you have the true Buddha lineage, because you respect the Guru and you have received the Dharma teaching and you practice it, then of course you have the lineage. There's no need to ask me. But if you are not respectful toward the Guru and you don't perform the Guru's Dharma, then how come you have lineage? Well, then maybe all you have is just the water from the faucet. We drink water every day. Now let me take a drink. By drinking this water, that's the lineage of the tap water. Without water, we cannot live. Human beings have to have water in order to live. A few days without it, you would be dead. So for a human being to live, you need to have the lineage of water. But our wisdom lives, our Tathagata's wisdom lives, depends on your Dharma practice upon receiving the lineage empowerment. So, of course, you have lineage. Why do you still need Grandmaster to write that you have lineage, and then ask Grandmaster to sign it? And by having this, you say, oh, we have lineage. No, because some of you are respectful toward the lineage root Guru and perform the Dharma practice taught by the lineage root Guru, then they have the lineage. Then of course you would have the spiritual experiences that enter into your body. The Dharma flow would enter into your body and flow through your body very smoothly. It's like electricity current. That's the lineage, Dharma lineage. You would have that experience. Then the Yidam descends and the Yidam set up an altar inside your body. You would have feelings about it. You would experience it. That's spiritual experience it. So actually, there's no need for you to ask me to write something, because some of them have the lineage, and some of them don't. And those who don't would deride the king or the guru. What kind of guru is that? He's not even good enough to be my disciple. If he wants to take refuge in me, he's not even qualified to become my disciple's disciple. So the proverb is like, you deride the king behind his back. So you talk about Grandmaster behind his back. So would they have lineage? Of course not. What do you think? No. So you talk behind his back, and yet you want to copy his Dharma, how to learn his Dharma. Of course, that's without lineage. It's a very simple principle. because the river of empowerment never to be exhausted. Every time you do a Dharma practice, every day, you would receive the wisdom life and the Dharma flow, and your wisdom life will continue. So in the future, if anyone asks me to write something about your lineage, I would say that your lineage is from the tap water, because every day you drink water, and of course you have the lineage of the tap water, then you can continue to live. But your wisdom life needs the lineage root guru to flow to you directly. Then you would have the lineage of Grandmasters Lu of True Buddha School. Talking about lineage, that the blessings, the continual blessings is never lost. Very simple. If you do the Dharma practice, you do the Dharma practice of Grandmaster, then Grandmaster would bless you. So the Dharma flow comes from the lineage gurus to you. So the continual blessings is never lost. So for that period of time when I suffered from cellulitis, I was very exhausted. I was fatigued. And I was giving blessings to a disciple, and I was weak, and my hand was trembling, and he said, "Oh, no need. So the continuum of the blessings had been broken because you didn't receive the blessing. You don't come for Grandmaster's blessings on the head. So if you come and you receive blessings on the head, that's blessings. But if you say, no, I don't want it, for over a decade, you don't need Grandmaster's blessings on the head. Will she or he lose the lineage? Yes. So it's written here in Lamdre, the 4-year transmission. It refers to the one receiving the Dharma transmission through continual lineage from all the lineage gurus. It is divided into the river of empowerment, never to be exhausted, and the continuum of the blessings, never lost. Every day I pray to Master Drupten Tarji, His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, Master Sakya Tsengkong, and the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, to be seated on my heads. When I recite their names, their Dharma flow entered into Grandmaster's body. So that's the continuum of the blessings, never lost. It's not just recited by the mouth, but they did give the real blessings unto you. And today, in performing Dorje Patmo, the Dharma flow of Dorje Patmo entered into my body. In front of the altar, there are only truthful words. If there is a false word, then I would fall into the Vajra hell. So everything I say here is truthful. Today, when I was performing Homa, Dorje Patmo and Prajna Buddha Mother, from Prajna Buddha Mother to Santong Ma, Asong Ma, and Dorje Patmo, and to 100,000 Dakinis, the 4 guardian Dakinis, the 8 directional Dakinis, the 20 heavenly Dakinis. all continually entered into your body and bless you. But if you don't experience the real spiritual experiences, and yet you said that you did, then that's lying, and that's a violation of the 5 basic precepts. So here I don't dare to speak false words, and today for sure it is true that the Dharma flow entered into Grandmaster's body. And with this too, and the pith instructions and the practice procedures are not disorderly. So what it meant is that the empowerment is real, the blessing is real, and the Dharma and the practice is orderly. So this is talking about the Dharma practice. So the pith instruction and the practice procedures never disorderly. So simply said, if you are disrespectful toward the Guru, you would lose the lineage. Second, if you don't practice Grandmaster's Dharma, then you also lose the lineage. Third, very simple. You don't practice Grandmaster's Dharma and you invented your own Dharma, then you also lose the lineage. What we practice was from the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dakinis, and heavenly divinities, not using ghost. Once you use the ghost, then you make the lineage chaotic. Has Grandmaster taught the practice of ghost? No. But there is the ghost, the king of ghosts with great power. In the Siddhigarbha Sutra, there are lots of kings of ghosts. But that's the different kinds of ghosts, not the solitary ghosts or the wandering ghosts or the ghosts that committed suicide or the little ghost or the ghosts died in battles. So we didn't teach you the Dharma, the practices of the ghosts or of the asuras, of the hells, hungry ghosts. So the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dakinis, and heavenly beings. So from the Buddha's realm to the heavenly realm are the Dharma that we taught, that we teach. So this is the Dharma of the 6 mindfulness, and the last one is mindfulness toward the heavens. Very simple. So the pith instructions and the practice procedures never disorderly. This is very important. But if you employ the ghosts, then that's not the Dharma of True Buddha school. The last one is the respectful faith and mindset are complete. So if you respect the lineage and you trust the lineage, and if your consciousness and your thinking are mature and perfect, what is this? This is receiving the lineage. So if you have this 4, then you would have the lineage. But if you don't, then you lose the lineage. So now, are you clear about this? So prior to Grandmaster's giving Dharma teaching, no, it's okay. I don't need to say it too clearly. In Grandmaster's Dharma teaching, for pith instructions and key formulas, it's better to do it the 4-year transmission, or just a few people. Then I would teach you one-on-one, one-to-one. So the 4-year transmission here signifies the transmission between one lineage guru upon the next lineage guru, upon the next lineage guru, upon the next lineage guru, all the way to you. And then you become a lineage guru. And then in the future, when you transmit, continue to transmit, then you become Acharya. So the key point is that it's continual. So it has to be linked, and that's Samaya. So once you break it, then you break the Samaya. But if you link, then that would be linking the Samaya. Recently, there are many people asking Grandmaster, Grandmaster, please write something that we have true Buddha lineage. And Grandmaster was going to write it. But actually, there's no need. In this excerpt of Lamdre, you can mull over it, you can ponder into it. So is your river of empowerment has been broken? Are your blessings, are Grandmaster's blessings always on you? Are they continual? And your Dharma practices, are they for Buddhahood and at least to heavens, or you use other things? Then that becomes disorderly. So are you respectful toward lineage gurus? Do you have trust and faith in the lineage? Only this way that your faith and mindset would be complete. So it's very simple. By reading this piece, you would understand it clearly. I don't need to write, you have lineage, or you all have lineage. Of course, I hope that you do. That's my hope. But if you are disrespectful and you talk behind my back and double tongue, sowing discord behind my back, then you have lost respect. So how could you have the lineage? So even if you have, then there would be the lineage of the ghosts or the lineage of tap water. I don't want to drink anymore. It's very simple. No more to say. The test this time is very simple. The one who failed is really a miracle. And then Xiaoming said, but Guru, don't you know that my specialty is to create wonders? Like create a miracle? Lots of jokes about Xiaoming. So actually it's a simple matter. Don't complicate it. So lineage is a simple matter, and the 4 key points are here. Is it link? I mean, do you receive it? There are some people who have not received blessings on the head because true Buddha disciples are numerous, 5 million of them, and some in mainland China, in Xinjiang, in Mongolia, in Dihua. It's not Ali Buddha. It's not that. What was that? Urum Uji, Ulumbata. Some disciples are there. You know, Wang Luoping was a true Buddha disciple. And he went to Singapore, and I give him blessing. Qingye would know. Qingye is here. In 1995, Wang Luoping went to Singapore, and he sat together with us for dinner, and he sang for us. He's a composer of many folk songs of China. These are the titles of some of the songs. He's written many folk songs that are very famous, and he's a true Buddha disciple, and Grandmaster had given blessing on him and also conferred empowerments upon him. But there are disciples who live in faraway or remote places who could not come to receive blessings physically from Grandmaster. But if they took refuge and do the practice and have complete faith and trust in the lineage, and if they often do the Grandmaster's Dharma practice, then Grandmaster would also give them blessings, and all the same they would have the lineage. So that's an issue of lineage. John asked Xiaohua with great emotion, Valentine's Day is approaching, what would you want? Oh, anything is fine. Whatever you give me, I'm really happy. So, and then he said, then I'll send you home to see your parents, because send in Chinese also sound like give. That's a homophone. Because they don't love and respect each other that much. So they like to send the partner as far away as possible. But if you have enough love and respect, then you would come and attend Grandmaster's ceremony, because you respect the Dharma. And so, because you esteem the Dharma, but if you don't, then you wouldn't come. One day, I was trying to buy some medicine, and I couldn't remember the name. And the seller said, well, I've been selling medicines for 30 years. If you could think of at least 2 characters, then I would know. And after thinking for a long time, now I thought of 2 words. And the seller was really happy. It's like capsule. Of course, it's impossible for him to get his medicine. This is an issue of the lineage. If you go to the netherworld and the Yama king was there, what's the name of your guru? Oh, I've forgotten. It's been so long. I've forgotten. I couldn't say. So, what is the special signs? You know, that you have studied Buddhism and you have a guru. Can you tell me some characteristic of your guru? And he thought about it for a long time and he couldn't think of anything. What is the special characteristic of him? Other than he's rather short. What else? Oh, okay. You know my guru? He was wearing shoes that's about 10 centimeter with 10 centimeter heel. And Yama King would know. That's Grandmaster Lu. Okay, good. Since you are Grandmaster Lu's disciple, and he's my good friend, and this is a true story. Now you can go back and to let you live another 10 years. And the soul traveled back to above the hospital and returned to his body. He actually had stopped breathing for over 10 hours. And then he started breathing again and resurrected. And he lived again. And that was a true story. A disciple living in Taitung. And his name was Gao Mingfu. He went to the netherworld, and the Yama King asked him, "What's the name of your guru?" And he recited, "Om Guru Lien Sun Siddhi Hom." And the Yama King said, "Oh, I know this mantra too." So he was sent back to the living world. And he was his body was in the hospital, and then he lived again, and he was very happy. And he regained his strength. And when he got home, first he went to my image, Grandmaster Lu's image. And he said, "Thank you, Grandmaster, otherwise I would have been dead this time." And his name was Gao Mingfu. The Gao family, like Master Lien Miao's husband was called Gao Mingso, and the one living in San Francisco was called Gao Minglu. And his name was Gao Mingfu, living in Taitung. They belong to the Gao family clan, and they have like generations. So that's why the lineage is extremely important. Even when you go to the netherworld, and when you meet the Yama King, you have some privilege. You know that you were going to hell. You were going to hell, and yet you are being reconsidered and asked to be back to the living world and to continue to practice. So that's really nice. There's this joke. God gave 3 people a chance to fulfill their wish. And God asked them to jump from a cliff And in the process of jumping, you say your wish, and then it would be fulfilled. And underneath the cliff is the ocean, so there's no danger there. So whatever they say as they jump would be. The first one jumped and said, money, 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 money. And sure enough, he succeeded and earned lots of money. And the second one, and he said, gold, 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 gold. And he succeeded too. He became the owner of the jewel. So he's of the like a jewel, like the of the gold, and he became very rich. And the third one, before he said anything, he was hooked on the branch. And then he cursed and he said, "Oh shit." And then he had shit all over him. So this is called lineage. Whatever you want, you pray to your yidam with reverence and respect and faith, then your Dharma practice would be complete and perfect. And they would give you, grant you what you wish for. That you would attain the fruition of bodhisattvahood, or attain the fruition of arhatship, sarvakahood. Or you can go to the Buddha land. You would have fruitions there. Or at least you can go to heavens and become a heavenly being. And you have a place in heavens, because by practicing the Dharma. So which deity that you practice and which deity that you pray for, then you would attain the fruition of that deity. So if you practice a yidam, that you would gain the same fruition as that yidam. But let me tell you, if you practice the ghost practices and you have the talisman of the ghost, or you carry an earth god with you, then all you could attain is the fruition of the smallest god on earth, which is the earth god. Or you enter into the realm of the ghost. This has lineage. So if you employ ghosts, then in the future you would become ghost. Whom you respect or revere. If you revere ghosts, then you become ghosts. The whom you revered is ghosts. Whom you have faith in is ghosts. And in the future, the fruition that you attain is ghostness. And who knows, maybe the king of ghosts. So what is this? This is lineage. Because when you believe in the Buddha and you have the Buddha as your yidam and you practice every day, then you would become a Buddha. When you employ the methods of the Buddha, then you would become a Buddha. And if you believe in the Bodhisattva, you would become Bodhisattva. And if you believe in the heavens, you would attain the fruitions of the heavens. And then if you believe in Asura, then you would attain the fruition of Asuras. But if you employ ghosts, then you would become ghost. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.